What's up, everybody? It's Joey G back at it again. Yes, I am. Had to come to you a little bit earlier tonight because in about an hour the Eagles will be on, and I gotta watch them. They're playing the Giants, but it's weird because it's my two favorite teams. You know what I'm saying? It's like the Eagles and Giants, and people ask me all the time, "How you a Giants fan? How you an Eagles fan?" And this is just a weird night. I lost my matches, for real. My dirt sheet's right there. Just bear with me, everybody. What do you call it? 15 years of SmackDown. Can you believe it? That it was in August of 1999 that SmackDown started. And I want to make a correction real quick. Stephanie McMahon was not the first general manager of SmackDown. She wasn't. Vince McMahon was the first general manager of SmackDown. Y'all remember the first draft ever where Ric Flair ran Raw? And Vince ran SmackDown. That happened from maybe from April of 2002 to June of 2002, and it just didn't work out. It sucked. I think Flair took The Undertaker #1, and Vince took The Rock #1 with SmackDown. So, it was weird. And that's when they had the two championships, and Brock. Really, they wanted Brock to stay on Raw. You know what I mean? To be the champion. And Triple H didn't want to work Tuesdays. I mean, when Paul Heyman made that famous speech inside the Hamstein Ballroom and said to JBL, the only reason you're champion is because Triple H didn't feel like working Tuesdays. Y'all remember that? And ECW One Night Stand, the second night stand, really. Because they did it 2 years in a row, 05 and 06. And JBL was writing checks and throwing them out like Paul Heyman used to just write checks and, bounce. They would bounce, they would bounce. But SmackDown was great. I mean, it's hard to believe life without SmackDown. And just think, SmackDown came off from The Rock. That was all The Rock. The Rock made that word up. Before 1998, well, when did he start using that word? The end of 97? So, the end of 97, I mean, in 96, I never heard the word SmackDown. I mean, it was the end of 90, even the summer of 97. You know what I mean? And I was partying hardy in the summer of 97 and 98 and years past. But, you know what I mean? I remember in the end of 97, SmackDown, just that word was big. And then now it's in the dictionary now. It should have a picture of The Rock. I mean, The Rock came up with that word. But, I got a little dirt sheet here on SmackDown. The first main event ever on SmackDown, as we all know, was Triple H versus The Rock. Which, they're building up for WrestleMania this year in Levi Stadium. In Silicon, Titty Valley, as I call it. Santa Carla, San Francisco. The 49ers play there. That's where WrestleMania is this year. Next year, though, the big one. Over 100,000 people in AT&T Stadium right outside of Dallas, Texas. You know what I mean? Arlington, Texas. It's in Arlington, where the Texas Rangers play. WrestleMania 32. And I hear that's gonna be Rock Cena 3. I mean, I don't know if that's definite, but that's what I'm hearing, because that match is just... There has to be a rubber match. There has to be a winner. And I hate to say it, I think Cena's going to get... I don't know. No, I don't think Cena's going to... I don't know. You have to ask me that question in a year. You know what I'm saying? Because if you look at it, what memorable thing has John Cena done? Speaking of SmackDown, John Cena's debut. 2002, Kurt Angle, the Open Invitational Challenge. Remember, he was doing it. John Cena came out, said, "I'm John Cena." And I remember looking at him at that time, remember, I said, he was going to be the future of the company, but not at that time. And he came out in some squeaky red, I guess they were to represent the Bulls of Chicago because they were in the Allstate Arena. And he came out, Kurt Angle was like, "Who in the hell are you?" And he was like, "Oh, I'm John Cena." And Kurt Angle was like, "What brings you out here?" And he was like, "Ruthless aggression." I think they were trying to make him like a Universal Soldier type dude, like that. He had a haircut like that, all blade, no fade. You know what I mean? So it was it was weird. It was all blade, no fade. That's what Cena had, dude. He had that fake haircut he did with Zack Ryder a couple years ago on Raw. That was his hair then. It just wasn't as long. He was a fucking Fruity Pebble back then. He was. But, yeah, SmackDown through the years has had some great times. I mean, there was times... my personal opinion, from 2002 to 2007, SmackDown was the better show. I mean, it was. I mean, maybe in 2005 when Cena first got the Raw and Hogan was there, and Hogan and HBK were having a feud, and HBK went back to the old HBK. from 97 and 98. That was cool because y'all know Shawn Michaels, I plug it all the time, is my favorite wrestler. I mean, yeah, I get hyped when I see The Rock. I get hyped. I don't like Stone Cold. I mean, I'm really not a big Stone Cold fan. Plus, he's for gay marriage. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're Stone Cold Steve Austin and you're for gay marriage? Steve, what, not WTF. What the fuck, Steve? For real, you're for gay marriage? You're Stone Cold Steve Austin, dog. You swigged down beers. You made Vince McMahon piss himself. You were going to shoot him in the middle of the ring. You kidnapped Scott Hall. I mean, the crazy shit you've done over the years. You humiliated Taz in front of the whole Alliance crew when you were a heel. You beat the shit out of The Rock with a chair at WrestleMania 17. The greatest WrestleMania of all time, as I always say. WrestleMania 17, April 1st, 2001. I was going out with Andrea Anderson then. What's up, Andrea? Big shout out to Andrea. Shout out to my cousin Mikey Noor. Shout out to my cousin Charlie O'Neill. Know what I'm saying? Shout out to Buddha, my best friend. What's up, word? Word life, Buddha. Word life's going down. We go to the Royal Rumble. Royal Rumble also. Cena getting a shot at Lesnar at the Royal Rumble in Philadelphia. But SmackDown was great the other night in Philly. I wasn't there, as you know, as I taped some of it. The Rock was there. I'm pissed because I do like The Rock. The Rock is, and always will be, one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. I love The Rock. You know, it's just something that The Rock has that other wrestlers don't have. I mean, if you think back on SmackDown, that's when The Rock was surpassing Steve Austin. And it was like almost like how Roman Reigns got hurt for Dean Ambrose. It was a blessing in disguise. Because now, I mean, the WWE is all Dean Ambrose. I mean, he's the #1 face. I read on the internet, he's the #1 superstar in the WWE, and he just debuted 2 years ago at this Survivor Series. So, 2 years ago at Survivor Series, he debuted. So, it's not even been 2 years yet. It's been almost 2 years ago he debuted with the Shield. When he came out and they attacked Ryback, they put Ryback through a table. It was CM Punk. He was the champion. He was a heel with Heyman as, you know, his manager, you know, against Cena and Ryback. And, you know, I'm a CM Punk fan. I wanted CM Punk. And I really thought he was going to lose because it was going to be a year the next night on Raw. And I was like, dude, they're going to have Cena. I really thought they were going to have Ryback win it. And they didn't. Thank God. I would have got tired of that. Feed me more. I mean, I hear they're building him up, and there's a possibility he could win the Royal Rumble. But I don't know. But so many things SmackDown over the years. I mean, JBL's run as champion. That was great. People say, oh, that was a boring... Wrestling at all was boring because Raw was just terrible during that. It was Triple H's reign of terror. He had a fake world title. I mean, it was the WCW world title. It wasn't the WWE title. The WWE title, Brock Lesnar, JBL, or Kurt Angle, that was usually the champion back then, between 2002 and 2005. The Undertaker had it for a minute. Lesnar, Angle, Eddie Guerrero had it for a minute. You know what I mean? When Goldberg interfered. And he beat Lesnar at No Way Out 2004, right before WrestleMania 20. And then Eddie lost to the JBL. And I thought the JBL title run was great on SmackDown. He was the longest WWE champion in SmackDown history, 258. 258 days is a lot of fucking days. 258 days, there's 365 in a year. So, he was almost 100 days less than a year champion. So he was a champion for a long... He won the belt in July of 2004 and didn't lose it until he lost it. So he won it at the Great American Bash 2004 in July and didn't lose it until April of 2005 to Cena at WrestleMania. And even then, the fans were you could tell already the fans were getting sick of Cena because he was getting shoved down our throat. So maybe for Roman, pain in the ass, this is a blessing in disguise. I still don't see the specialty in Roman Reigns. Like, if anybody saw his promo on Raw the other night when he was in the hospital, he gave like a corny-ass thumbs up. You look at him and you look at The Rock. Don't smoke, kids. It's bad for you. I just had a real bad cough. I'm just getting over it. I can't believe I'm still puffing. But he has no charisma. No, like, he can fight. And I like Roman Reigns because he's best friends with my favorite wrestler, Dean Ambrose. You know what I mean? My favorite wrestler on the roster. Okay, not of all time. But Dean Ambrose I do like. I was going to say love. I do love him, you know what I mean? My boy, you know what I'm saying? But not of all time. Not yet, at least. Dean Ambrose, you never know, could end up being the greatest of all time. You never know. The greatest of all time could happen 100 years after I'm dead. That's if Jesus don't come back. You know what I mean? So, we'll see what happens. But SmackDown, yeah, 15 years of it was great. I remember HBK super kicked The Rock, and Triple H got the pin, and Shawn was coming back and forth. Then he was always all zanned up. He was always fucked up on Zans or Coke or anything. I mean, I don't really consider smoking weed getting fucked up, because it's not. I mean, for real. I mean, I could smoke a blunt and go out there and have a 5-star match. I mean, seriously. And you're talking to a dude who's got herniated disc in his back. And I can go out there and have a 5-star match smoking marijuana. I mean, come on, for real. Now, drinking beer, I would go out there and be falling all over the place. So, there's your comparison between alcohol and marijuana, okay? You know, like, there's like a side of my family that's a bunch of alcohol. It's like it was sickening the other night here at my house. Like, you know, Joey G, I like to go in there. Like somebody in my family had to bring over like vodka and like all this alcohol. Like for no reason. Like you have to have like a fun. You have to get smashed to have that much fun. You can't just fall back and have one drink and maybe pop a Xanax and smoke a joint. You got to get all smashed like an asshole. You know what I mean? Like that's just retarded and childish. I used to do that. I used to be that guy. Not no more. I'm not that guy. I'm cool now. I just relax and do my thing. You all people know what I do. I don't have to broadcast what I do. But you people know, you know my gig, what I do. I do nothing harmless. I'm a midnight toker, and I take my anxiety medication. You know what I'm saying? I don't hurt nobody. You know what I mean? Joey J. I'm straight going to the WWE. That's what I want. My passion is wrestling. Mainly WWE. I always want to go to Tokyo, though. Speaking of Tokyo, Bound for Glory. TNA's WrestleMania is tonight. Now, am I right or wrong? Is it Lashley defend the title against Bobby Roode? I think it is. Now, I remember in 2011, Bound for Glory was here in Philly at the Liacouras Center, and it was Bobby Roode versus Kurt Angle. And it was a weird victory, because I was there. It was a weird victory. I was at Lockdown in 09 too, but I was at Bound for Glory. And it was a weird victory. Bobby Roode was supposed to win the belt. He was training as a face. He was running. It looked like he was Bret Hart. He was running through Canada like how when Bret was training for Shawn at WrestleMania 12. Like Bobby Roode was running. I really thought he was going to beat Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle put his leg on the ropes and pinned him. I was like, damn. All because of Hogan. Hogan was like, I don't think Bobby Roode's ready. Hogan had all the power then. And Hogan did turn face that night with Sting. That was the last match. So the end of Bound for Glory 2011... 3 years ago, went off the air while I was still there in the crowd with Hogan and Sting in the ring. Now, you compare the Liacouras Center to the Wachovia Center, it's just a totally difference. But Hogan was a big part of SmackDown. Brock Lesnar almost basically ended Hulk Hogan's WWE career on SmackDown. He put him in that bear hug, remember? And then he put Hogan's blood, remember? He bear hugged Hogan. Hogan was like, it was the first time Hogan's arm ever dropped 3 times. And then Lesnar took his blood and was like, you know that sexy John. I got like Ravishing Rick Rude. Dun 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 dun. I don't ever think Ravishing Rick was ever on SmackDown. That's a shame because he left right after the Montreal Screwjob. He would have stayed, but everything that happened with the Montreal Screwjob, he just wasn't down with, man. He didn't like it. He was a wrestling traditionalist, and he didn't like it. And he went to WCW, which very surprised me because the greatest DX, as I always say, was Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Chyna, and Ravishing Rick. I mean, I love Sean Waltman. I mean, I'm not a real big fan of the Road Dogg with Billy Gunn. I'm not. You know what I mean? I mean, they had good things, like in the ring, but like Jerry Lawler said, you know, when are you going to come up with some... He really did say to the Road Dogg behind the scenes one time, when are you going to come up with some original stuff? I mean, he was saying that shit on SmackDown, you know, 15 years ago. Oh, you didn't know? Like, it's old, Road Dogg. Jesse James or what? Kip James is Billy Gunn's real name. The Road Dogg's real name, I think, is Jesse James or Jesse Armstrong. He's an Armstrong. I know he's Brad Armstrong's brother. And the referee, Scott Armstrong in the WWE, I know that's his, like, brother, too. So, yeah. The Road Dogg's up there in age, too. But, and look, WWE's looking edgier. I can't wait to SmackDown goes back to Thursday nights. They said it was going to be October 2nd. We're now October 12th. And the Cowboys and Seattle with 23-20 Seattle right now. So let's go Seahawks. We do not want the Cowboys to win. Let's go Eagles tonight against the Giants, even though I love the Giants, but I want the Eagles. Well, this is Joey G, 15 years of SmackDown. If you smell what The Rock is cooking, takes down Triple H at WrestleMania. Peace.